Hey everybody, and welcome back to your next cast. Thank you so much for checking out another episode. If this is your first time to the channel, I appreciate you stopping by. And if you're returning to the channel for a second, third, or fourth time, I appreciate you doing that as well. If you want to, please leave a comment below. Let me know you stopped by. I'd love to connect with you. And if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Today, I am going to be talking about fishing line, and specifically braided fishing line. I've made a couple of other fishing line videos, and in those videos I talked about braid, but today I'm going to talk more specifically about braided line, when and where you use it, or when and where I use it and why I use it. There's a lot of different purposes for braid, so I'm not going to cover everything, but I think I'm going to give you some insights into what I think about braided line, my experience with it. Certainly, as you've seen on other videos, there'll be comments below, so if you're an avid fisherman, or fisherwoman, and you have a lot of tips and advice on braided line, feel free to put that below, because that not only helps me, but it helps other anglers that watch this channel. Now, something you may have heard me say before about braided line is that braided line floats. Braided line has zero stretch. I mean, it's tight, but it's a very strong line for the diameter that it is. Braid will have a smaller diameter with greater strength than your fluorocarbon, monofilament, copolymer, whatever other line that might be out there. And of course, the diameter of your line is important because you want your diameter to be as small as you can possibly get away with. So in a lot of instances for freshwater fishing, I'll use 10-pound braided line the majority of the time. If I'm not using 10, it's probably gonna be this, which is 30-pound braided line. And the brand that I enjoy the most, that I've had the most success with, that has given me the easiest castability, is Power Pro Maxcuatro. And that's what you see right here. Now, just as a disclaimer, this line is a little bit more expensive than your normal braided line. You can even see on here, it says best line I cast, new product, showcase winner, and this is an old pack, so I'm not sure what year that was. But it also has on here 25% thinner diameter line, which again is really important. And so just to let you know, this 30-pound test line is equivalent to 6-pound test as far as diameter goes. It's 0.23 millimeters in diameter, which if you saw the video I did on fluorocarbon line a little bit ago, most of that line was in like the 0.20 to 0.25 range millimeters I'm talking about as far as diameter. So this is right in line with 6-pound diameter line, which is great for getting you bites and hooking up more often. And so the great advantage of braided line is that you have a direct connection with what's going on. So if you're fishing with braid, you're gonna feel every rock, every leaf, every stick, every bump. Like it is super sensitive, because you know there's no stretch, there's no give, nothing like that at all. Usually I'm using braid for top water. That's probably the predominant place that I'm throwing braid, is when I'm fishing pads or grass or something like that, which I don't do a whole lot of, especially here in Virginia. It's usually if I'm taking a trip somewhere or doing something, that I will be fishing with a line like that. Or if I'm going saltwater fishing. So there's been several times I've gone saltwater fishing, and this Power Pro Maxcuatro is what I used. And so it's good in both. It's good in saltwater and it's good in freshwater. The other thing about braid is that it lasts a long time. Depending on how much you fish, you might be able to go a season or two, maybe even 3, using braid. Again, if you fish all the time, you probably want to be safe and switch up if you're fishing 4 or 5 times a week for long periods of time. But if you're not, if you're fishing once, twice a week or something like that, maybe 3 or 4 times a month at most, you might be able to get away with it. I know some people that have, and I've had a couple of rods in the past where I kept braid on there probably 2 years or more, and it was just fine. But anyway, it doesn't hold memory either, and that's a really good thing. But the greatest thing that I like about this is the cast ability. I mean, when I tie this on, I can launch this thing. I mean, especially and usually I'm using it with a bait caster when I'm using this 30-pound, but man, I'm telling you, I can sling it a long way. And I know I need to be more descriptive. Like saying I can sling it a long way is super subjective, but if you've seen some of my videos and you can see some of the casts I make, I don't know if I have a video of me throwing this, but trust me, I can launch this thing. So if you were to ask me, Titus, I can only get one braid, and you are gonna splurge a little bit. So maybe it's Christmas, maybe it's Father's Day, maybe it's your birthday coming up or something like that. I would go with the Power Pro Maxcuatro. It's what I've had the most success with. A little bit more expensive, but trust me, it is worth it. And again, if I'm fishing pretty much anything else, I'm going 10 pound. If I'm fishing a top water lure or in grass or something like that, I usually go 30 pound. Like, I'm not in Florida fishing like these thick bushes and stuff like that. So I rarely go up to like 40, 50, 60, or even 80 pound braid. I feel like that's a bit overkill. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on what your experience with braid has been, the brands that you like. Again, there's a lot of different brands out there. So I never try to advocate that, oh, this is the best brand and you have to use this brand. I find success with it. I've done well with it. And so if you were looking for one, this is certainly one I would recommend. So that's all I got for you today. I hope that you have a good day and I hope you have a good night. We'll see you next time.